Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. There was a period where I was gone for a while of watching GH. So I didn't really understand today's scene, the animosity between Liz and Britt. I just, I didn't get it. So, if somebody could sit there and fill me in the comment section and let me know why does Liz have so much of an issue with Britt. Anyway, they have a quick chat, and she wants to sit there and see a doctor pronto, and she wants to get bumped up to the head of the line because she worked there and she wants special treatment. And Liz is not having any of that. Like she's not having any of it. So she makes her way just like everybody else. And then Lucas sees her, and Lucas don't want no parts of hers. And I don't understand the issue between Lucas and Britt. Anyway, Lucas does examine Britt, and she talks about how her Huntington's disease is in remission and is practically undetectable. After that, also he's able to do a thorough examination, and he's gonna phone in the prescription for the medication. But he says because she doesn't have insurance, that the medication is going to be hell of expensive. Now, I read the previews, and it said that she was going to swallow her pride. I thought she was going to sit there and ask Jason for money, and I know she is going to ask Jason for money. And unfortunately, this could be possibly the worst time that she could be asking for anything. But after that, she goes and she sees Terry and Portia. Now, granted, we haven't seen Terry in like what, 2, 3, 4 months. So I was actually surprised that they were able to get her. Anyway, she wants her job back, and Portia and Terry like, yeah, it's not so simple because you died. Like we reported that you died, so like we're gonna have to investigate this whole fraud and this whole fraud scam or whatever. You being dead and you faking your death and everything. So Britt somewhat explains that her employer made her fake her death because they wanted, privacy and stuff. And I'm kind of just like, isn't that against the law to like fake your own death? Like, part of me was just like, you have to go to. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a soap opera, and you have to have a certain level of disbelief or suspend disbelief or whatever. But it just made me think about that right now. Like, you faked your death, and you're asking for a job. I feel like we're missing some steps. Anyway, they practically sit there and say like, after she explains why, or how she faked her death and everything like that, then Portia and Terry are just like, well, it's still not so simple because everyone, the staff and the patients, they mourn your death, and it's pretty sensitive right now. And I'm kind of just like, wait, hold on, let me get this straight. Did you just sit there and tell Britt that there's going to be a problem with her working there because of people's feelings? Did that what you just said? I actually had to sit there and stop for a minute, get up, take a good walk down the block, come back and be like, I know she did not just sit there and say that there's going to be a problem with her working here because of people's goddamn feelings. But Portia actually kind of sticks up for us. Like, listen, how about, you wait out there and, have a little talk and see if we can sit there and find something that, we can find something for you. And, Terry just has that look like, what's going on? I think we're kind of united on this whole thing. Like, what are you doing? Then you bring it back in. and they practically offer her a low level. They offer her, like, according to Britt, this low level entry position as far as an intake supervisor. I know nothing about the medical field, so y'all just have to clue me in on that. But at first, she starts complaining, like, "Oh, what are you talking about? This is a waste of my talents and time and everything." And I'm like, "Britt, are you like always gonna be like this? Because like yesterday you were hell of annoying. Today you somehow get back your job and not go to jail for faking your own death and all that stuff, and you actually get a job and you're still complaining about the okay. Okay, listen, I get it. It's supposed to be spunk, whatever that how that annoying ass quality is. Britt is starting to remind me of a character in a TV show called Lucifer. Think about Lucifer is that he has one of those personalities. Either you really love him, you're captivated by him, or you just find him the most annoying character to ever exist. And I feel like this is who Britt is in a sense. Um, Charlotte and Lulu. So after Charlotte finished posting flyers and everything like that, she goes to Lulu, and Lulu is like, listen, there's a possibility, you can. How about if you want to go and see your dad? Or how about if you want to see your papa? First of all, Charlotte now calls Valentine dad instead of papa because she's like, "Well, I'm a little too old for that. It's kind of babyish at this point." Like, yeah, I mean, you practically aged the character up like what 5, 7, 10 years. The chick looked like she's 19 or something like that, about to be 20. But then she starts asking why. She's like, well, why I'm able to see him now? And part of me kind of just like, why are you questioning this for? Like, why are you questioning why you would sit there and see him and what does Jack want and this, that, and the third? Like, old school show would have just not cared and be like, okay, cool. And you're actually fine with this? Okay, fine. But she's questioning why. She's questioning why Lulu's okay with this. And I'm kind of just like, I understand as you get older, you start to get more curious, but I also kind of felt like they had to find something to do to like stretch out the runtime in this show. So that happened, and of course Rocco comes in, and Rocco still can't find the dog. He's blaming himself. They have a little full house moment, and pretty much nothing else comes from that. So Gio comes to Sonny to sit there and ask him for $10,000. And Sonny's like, yeah, fine. That's fine. Whatever. And, Gio's like, listen, I can ask the cues, but I feel more comfortable asking you. He's like, that's fine. But I want you to stick around. Then he pretty much kind of gives him the Vin Diesel speech about family. Um, I don't know why, but for some odd reason, it's like YouTube just kept recommending me more scenes of Fast and Furious. We talk about family and how important it is, and this, that, and the third, which, granted, there's an underlying message because Jason is there talking to Tracy, and he's thinking about all the stuff that he didn't say, and ask him more memories about what he was like when he grew up and stuff, and because he doesn't really remember much from the accident, and it's like something that he regrets. So I know that it actually had a deeper meaning about it, but part of me just couldn't help when he started talking about family. It just made me think about Vin Diesel. Anyway, Don is there, and Don is there asking if he can stay or whatever. And Christina gets there, and Dante gets there, and it's a little kind of awkward. But Donna asks, and Gio's like, fine. Apparently, Gio, Donna is Donna is Gio's aunt. I don't understand how that makes sense, but okay, sure, whatever. But he agrees to stay, and Dante has a conversation with him. He says a couple of things, and I guess Gio leaves to help Sonny with the grow. And then Christina's like, "Oh, you're being really stiff." I'm like, listen, Gio has been snitted giving Dante FE vibes for like a hot minute. I think he's actually doing pretty well considering that he is talking to him somewhat. So I don't even understand why Christina felt the need to say that. Um, but anyway, they have their little family moment, and Dante says he's helping with the search of the dog. Now speaking of the dog is with Cody. And Cody's not there telling the dog, you're gonna have to sit there and keep it down and not really mess with Comet and stuff. Otherwise, we're gonna have to sit there. I don't want to have to take it to the pound. I'm just like, why is the pound the first option that he keeps sitting there saying? I thought about that. I think I might have thought about that. I might have said that yesterday, but like I'm thinking about that today. I'm like, why do you keep saying that? Like, there's no other options that you could sit there and try to do. Have you tried taking it to the police? Have you tried I don't know, walking around town looking for a flyer? You found this dog. You know damn well there's a good chance that this dog is not yours. But the first thing you sit there thinking about, I don't want to sit there and take you to the pound. Like, you be in the cell. And I'm like, why do you keep saying that for? Anyway, Molly comes over. And I swear, I feel like this was just an excuse just to see Cody. Molly comes over and she apologizes to Cody for kind of talking some ish behind his back with Liz and practically Smith is saying that, he pimped himself out. He was, oh, what did Cody say? A himbo. And, she was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have really been talking me on your back. And Cody just makes fun of her. And, he was like, hey, listen, everything's cool. I did do it. And if Liz wouldn't have found out, if Liz wouldn't have found out through you, she would have found out through Ava. So it's no harm, no foul. But Cody does sit there and adds Molly to keep it, just kind of keep quiet about the whole dog thing. And she's like, I will, but you should sit there and tell them anyway, because most likely they'll sit there and try to help you find a place to, like give you time to find a place for the dog, which is really odd because I don't understand why he can't have dogs or pets and you have what Annabelle the second, the third, the fourth, like I don't really understand why you're telling Cody he can't have pets. And I know that they had a dog at one point in time, but whatever. Um, of course, the Tracy and Jason scenes, which was heartbreaking. Um, what I will sit there and say, what I did appreciate, what I did appreciate. Listen, I don't do levity. I generally don't when it comes to ourselves because like levity comedy they don't do it right. But I think in this scenario, I think it was necessary. You talked about his Monica's house, and I like the flashbacks that he did, um, especially when Tracy had like the really short hair, like the really short red hair. And I think that's another thing. When Tracy came back, there was something that was so odd. It was so odd, and I could not put my finger on it. And then I remember all the times when Trace used to be there. She had the short hair, she had the dark hair, she had the dark red hair. Then she comes back and she has gray hair, long all the way down to her ass. Okay, I just couldn't be cute about it. She had long hair down to her ass. And I just remember just being like, oh, Tracy's back. And I didn't really think of it at the time, but there was something that was just kind of off, and I'm like, what, this review is going to like 20 minutes. Let's just go through it. And I didn't think about it, but then when he did the flashbacks, I was like, um, what else? I did this twice because I started doing this and then I hit the stop button and I was like, I did sit there and say that, well, Britt got her job back as low level entry or whatever as a intake supervisor. In case I forgot to sit there and say that. And yeah, Britt still being annoying. Oh, I did talk about that. It was a long day. Long, long day. And things took way longer than it should have. So I won't be able to do a live stream tonight. And I do got to wake up super early anyway. So I will just be live streaming tomorrow night. I'll have more time and I don't have to sit there and be looking at the clock. I feel like that's generally about. Of course, I could have missed something and I have no idea what it is. So if I did, let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, I will be live streaming tomorrow night, usual time. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.